Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. On this Tuesday, the 2nd of November 2021, a very sad day. A death toll so far stands at 15. We have recovered more bodies. The death toll now stands at 15, while 9 were pulled alive. Ibrahim Farin-Iloye, the National Emergency Management Agency, stated. Rescue operations were still underway. The State Information and Strategy Commissioner Gbenga Omotosho, in a statement, said more equipment and personnel have been deployed into the site to save more lives. Omotosho said that Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has suspended LASBCA General Manager Bola Oki as part of his efforts to find out those indicted in the tragic incident. The commissioner stated that the government will surely find out what went wrong and punish those indicted, and disclosed that Oki's suspension is suspended from work immediately. The suspension is indefinite. He disclosed that 9 persons, all men, were pulled out of the collapsed building alive and have been taken to hospital. That is good news. In all of this misery, this is good news. So that's very good to hear that. Now, there is one or two things that we do need to do before we go further ahead. I'm going to be showing you a bit more detail about the background information. We need that background information. To go forward, sometimes you need to go back. So let's go back a little bit. Let's just see. So here we go. Sanwo-Olu had apparently sealed Gerard Ikoyi high-rise back in July 5, 2020, over a year ago. So what happened? What happened? We want to know what happened. If the governor sealed it, how come work continued? Or right up until yesterday, how come? That's question number one. It leads us to ask more questions. If the governor gave that directive, why wasn't it followed? Why wasn't that monitored to ensure that it was followed? That's a question for Sanwo-Olu. Now, the next part I want to bring your attention to is this line. We're going to read this together. Help me this one. Now, this one here is the second stage of it. Now, it says here, Femi Osibona. Fantastic. You see, there is a name on there. And this picture will come back later on. There is a name on there. Back in February, 28th of February 2020. Recall, let me just do this again. That in July, Sanwo-Olu, he sealed Gerard Ikoyi high-rise. The details weren't given here, but he sealed it. Now, this was back in February of the same year, 2020, 20th of February 2020. A letter was written to Mr. 20th of February, to Mr. Femi Osibona, Fourscore Heights Limited, 44 BCD Gerard Road, Ikoyi, Lagos State. Proposed Gerard Terraces for Fourscore Limited. This is a letter to formally inform you of the withdrawal of our structural consultancy service from the above named project. We arrived at this decision due to the fact that we no longer share the same vision with you as our client in terms of how the project is being executed. We can guarantee the integrity of the first 2 buildings and also works done up to the 4th floor of the 3rd building, supervised by us, provided specifications have been met in terms of the required concrete strength. Listen to that word. In terms of the required concrete strength. Yeah, we're going to come back to that one. This we do not have control over, as we do not have the concrete cube test results for each stage of the building till date. Number 2. Also, kindly note that we are not taking responsibilities for any of the construction errors that may have occurred over time on the project. 3. Furthermore, we request that our company's name and logo be removed from the project board, and also kindly notify all necessary approving authorities of our withdrawal from the project. We regret that this decision, and we regret We regret this decision and the lost opportunity to do business together. We look forward to future cooperation in other projects. Yours faithfully, Muritala Olawale, Managing Director for Prowess Engineering Limited. So I'm zooming out. So straight away, there are questions. We get questions to ask. Number one, when the governor said he sealed the Gerard Ikoyi high rise, why was work carrying on until yesterday? Governor Sanwo-Olu, over to you. You will have to answer that one. Governor Sanwo-Olu, you have some questions to answer. Yes, you do. Mr. Appointing Governor, now, come on, with this point, you have to answer. Now, the strength of the concrete, where were the tests? These are proving serious problems. Before they carry out, obviously, before they carry out doing the work, there must have been some sample tests that should be done on site by people who are in the building regulations, part of Lagos State. Where are they? I've seen now that they suspended one of the chief, last bar or whatever. They suspended him, something Oki, or Michael Oki, or whatever it's called. I think it's called. I'll go back and get that name out. Can you see that this thing is getting, the net is getting wider. It's getting wider and wider. Now, the other thing I want to now put in is this. Now let's go and look at the picture of Michael Oki. His the man in question. You see that picture on the video, on the thing I showed you. They had the name at the top. So that's how the name at the top was Femi Osibona. Well, hey presto, here is Femi Osibona. How vice president's cousin? So it's the vice president's cousin now. He is Oshibajo, and is Osibona. Yeah, his impunity did him in. Now we want to know if he's going to face justice, or if this is going to be hushed up, because this is lives have been lost. We are glad that 9 people have been pulled out, but 15 are dead. Minimum. Now, so the question is everybody from Sanwo-Olu downwards, they need to ask questions, and Sanwo-Olu cannot absolve himself of this, because you saw that on the 5th of July, it stated that he actually put a stop. He sealed that building. Why was it reopened? And why were people? And why was it that when it was reopened, they didn't take steps to ensure that those things, that there were things that needed to be rectified, were rectified? If they had done that, this building would have collapsed. So it says here, barely 48 hours ago, the eye-popping 21-story blocks of luxury apartments of the Gerard Ikoyi, which even at its incomplete stage, stood out in its mammoth and magnificent glory, was the stuff of every commuter and passers-by's residential fantasy. By noon Monday, November 1st, one of the 3 towers in the 360-degree, formerly known as Fourscore Heights, was reduced to a mere rubble, burying in its bowels hapless lives and shattering the dreams of many wealthy Nigerians who had broken the bank to acquire the apartment. Gone with the building are millions of dollars already paid by those desirous of premium luxury living in project, which offered a mix of 3-bed and 4-bed apartments, including maisonettes and penthouses. 360 Degrees Tower is a 63 apartment unit residential project by Fourscore Homes, owned by Femi Osibona, a real estate investor with a large portfolio of luxury properties across Nigeria, South Africa, UAE, UK, and USA. Where did he get the money? The vice president's cousin. Okay. Osibona said in an interview, what we want to achieve is to have people live in their homes as if they are living in a 7-star hotel. There is security with access control from the entrance on Gerard Road, and there is another security post when coming into the buildings. Electricity will be guaranteed 24 hours a day, and there will be cleaning and gardening around the estate, as well as housekeeping concierge services for those who desire it. The price range for the apartment is said to have been between 1.2 million and 5 million, and Fourscore Homes said that 65% of the apartments had been sold and were set to be occupied by 2022. The capital, reliably gathered by Osibona, had indeed collected the capital. This newspaper, media house, reliably gathered that Osibona had indeed collected over $35 million from interested buyers who looked forward to living a stress-free lifestyle, complete with a hotel flair as promised by Fourscore Homes in a client brochure. A source told this medium that the lady paid $1.5 million as an initial payment for the penthouse. Many other prominent Nigerians are currently ruining their humongous loss because Osibona, popularly known as Femi Osibona, was in the building at the time of the collapse. Whether dead or alive, his body has yet to be recovered. I'm reading that with you for the first time. I have to pause. Whether dead or alive, his body has yet to be recovered. So he was in the building. However, many people who are privy to Oshibona's modus operandi have no pity whatsoever for him. He has widely been criticized for his greed and predilection for cutting corners. It was gathered that the project was originally supposed to be 8 stories, but Osibona increased it to 15 and later 21. Mr. Gbola Oki, the general manager, Lagos State Buildings and Control Agency, confirmed this, adding he got an approval for 15-story building and he exceeded his limit. I am on the ground here and the materials he used are so inferior and terrible. The materials he used, the reinforcements are so terrible he got approval for 15 but built 21. Meanwhile, before Monday's unfortunate collapse, which has so far claimed about 10 lives, is now 15 and 9 pulled out alive, thankfully. The Lagos state government had sealed the building for ostensibly bypassing procedural approval from the state government and the other authorities vested with the mandate to ensure compliance with standards and quality. Concerned Nigerians are saying that for tragically enabling the death of ordinary Nigerians eking out their living on the site, Osibona may not rest in peace, and that if he was fortunate to be rescued, he should face the full wrath of the law for criminal negligence, fraud, and murder. Whoa. Guys, I initially went into this not privy to that knowledge that he was actually in the building. I mean, I hope he survives it so that at least he can then face the full, because they cut corners. He's cut corners. And I mean, what can you say about this? This exemplifies what failed governance is all about. Failed governance is built on the foundation of fraud, corruption, born to rule mentality, I am law unto myself mentality. When you have that in a system, that system never functions. We've now seen the result. Because of the fact that he's the brother to, or the cousin to Oshibajo, carte blanche, whatever anybody says, he can get highest authority to pass whatever he wants. And now, he may well be in that rubble. No one knows for sure. That is quite sad in many respects, but at the same time, you can get the feelings of people. Let me read what people said so that I don't put my own personal spin on it. People said, concerned Nigerians are saying that for tragically enabling the death of ordinary Nigerians eking out their living on the site, Osibona may not rest in peace, and that if he was fortunate to be rescued, he should face the full wrath of the law for criminal negligence and murder. In the sense that he exceeded the number of stories for that site. He got approval for 15 stories and he exceeded it. He went to 21. That is recklessness. And he used inferior materials, all because he's got connections to the vice president. We have to say it like it is. I mean, We will give you more updates as we come along, as we come across it. But it is something to look at. I hope you can look at all of those paperwork that we put across initially. And there are questions for the governor, from the for the governor downwards. And ultimately, the vice president has some kind of moral responsibility for this. This is what we're saying, that no one should be above law. By being above law, the law of Osibona, late Femi, he may be late Femi Osibona, has put the lives of many, has taken the lives of many, possibly his own as well, because of the fact that I am the vice president's cousin. They cut corners, they disobey rules. Look, corruption costs lives. This is what we've seen now. 15 dead so far. Let us see what they said. I read it at the beginning. Let's just see again. Yeah, it was sealed in 2020. So so there was the 21-story building collapsing at Musuku Junction by Gerard Road, Ikoyi. It was sealed by state government last year to prevent calamity. Unfortunately, it appears the building was later unsealed and construction continued until it collapsed today, November 1, about 2:25 p.m. In the July report, it was reported that Sanwo-Olu sealed the Gerard Ikoyi high-rise. At the time, the source was quoted as saying that the state government took the action to seal the building in order to ensure that what happened with Lekki Gardens Estate when its ongoing 6-story building collapsed on March 8, 2016 would not be witnessed again in the estate. The source said it is unheard of that the owners of the Ikoyi project in question will embark on such a capital-intensive project without obtaining required approvals for the project as massive as that. Gone are the days of negligence on the part of government when people flout the law. Sealing up the project is law taking its due course. So if it was taking its due course, why was it opened again? And why didn't they make sure there were things in place to make sure that they could, guarantee that it was going to be safe? Questions for the governor and everybody else. Questions, and they have to answer them. The owners of the project have shown themselves to be defiant and obstinate with the State Ministry of Land and Physical Planning, and have been calling on them to, without paying attention to what the ministry has been calling the attention to. It does not benefit the state to stop economically viable projects like the project on Gerard Road in Ikoyi, but the responsibility falls on the government that all rules and regulations guiding such buildings are strictly adhered to. What the government has done is to halt further construction with a view to assessing and evaluating the extent to which builders had adhered to the building code. The state will take it up from there. The government will not fold its arm and watch people behave recklessly without order and accountability. We are talking about people's lives here. The state will no longer tolerate such attitude from anybody, no matter how highly placed they may be. Interesting. Let me put the picture of the man involved here for you to see. He's the cousin to Oshibajo. Let's get Oshibajo up so you can see. You see? Let's put him up. There is Oshibajo there. Okay? So there's Oshibajo. So there is Oshibajo. That man was his cousin. Was or is. We don't know. He's in the building. Apparently somebody said they were going to be flying out or something. Well, I'm not quite sure. Ladies and gentlemen, this really highlights the failed system that we're in, and the more justification why we need to build Yoruba Nation, Biafra Nation, Middle Belt. We have to separate from this contraption. We need to build a viable system that works. That the what we call contraption Nigeria is truly a cesspit of corruption, and we want no part of that. We need to be able to hold people accountable. And why is it that when they closed it, they opened it quietly, obviously, and now they have to deal with this massive fallout. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I will come back and give you details later on, more updates, but essentially, this is highlighting a massive failure of governance. The last part of what was read when I read that collapse to you, you see, it says here, the government will not fold its arm and watch people behave recklessly without order and accountability. We are talking about the people's lives here. The state will no longer tolerate such attitude from anybody, no matter how highly placed they may be. So it is a given that Femi Osibona, because of the closeness to the vice president, is highly placed. So he was behaving with impunity. Such impunity we will not tolerate. I encourage every fellow Yoruba person, when we get Yoruba Nation, to not accept this. The law will apply to every single one of us equally. Because failure to do so, we now see has cost lives. May the souls of those who died rest in peace. We wish those who be pulled out alive speedy recovery. We now expect Governor Sanwo-Olu to do the needful. Get out the facts. Answer questions. Don't be pointing, Governor. We don't want to see pointing. He has to explain to us why that building was unsealed. And everybody else has to come and explain this to us. And the whole system, it exposes the whole system. If you have money, you can bypass anything in that contraption. I'm saying that again. If you have money, you can bypass any of the laws. And that is what tells you that once a system is like that, it is failed. I'm going to stop here. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please do share this broadcast when you get it. Share it. Just giving you updates in terms of what we found out. So far, 15 dead, 9 pulled out alive. We'll give you more updates as and when we get it. The videos that we've been watching, we'll come in and talk about things as and when we go along. Thanks for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We only deal in one currency, truth. And we are the Sorosoke generation with evidence. Thank you and goodbye. One more thing before we go. As ever, you know what I do. I urge you all, please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Whoa. What's going on? Sorry about that. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, you can. 1 second. I'm just going to quickly change something there. Something's gone wrong. And I'm going to fix that straight away. In a couple of clicks, I will get it fixed. 1 second, please. Let me just make sure we got that right. Okay. So, okay. So let's try that again, shall we? 1 minute, please. Subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Please, when you subscribe, hit the subscription button, hit the notification button, and give us a thumbs up. The more you share it, the more people can get to see this the information we're sharing. One more thing I'd like to add. Facebook have been really, really unfair to us on quite a few of our platforms. They've restricted us to be in the things and on the benefits that we would normally get. That's why it's very important that what you're doing to help us build our platform on YouTube will give us another opportunity to be able to use the platform to its full capacity. Facebook are currently denying us that. So every time you subscribe, you are helping us build the platform. Thanks for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. And may the souls of those who departed in this tragic incident, may their souls rest in peace. And we wish those who have been injured speedy recovery. Thanks for watching and goodbye.